Uh-oh, I better turn off this light. Give me a second. So they can go to bed. As long as the light is on, they're gonna keep being a pain in the neck. I'm sorry, light's off. Go ahead. Night night. Night night. Okay. I turned off all the lights. They're gonna be quiet now. Wow, this has been a day. Pardon me, I'm coming down with a little bit of a cold. So, it's today Sunday? I think it's Sunday. There's a lot going on. So, my last video, I talked about group dynamics and how, besides Pizarro and that crew, I'm not talking about them, but the ones that be in Treecey's chat, the ones who are in alliance with Treecey, you know, I talked about how the group was supportive of Treecey, yes, because, she has been glowing. We were happy that, she was happy in this relationship. But more people than not has serious issues with Rob. With the aggression, with the disrespect, with the waving of the gun, all of that. But nobody would talk about those things. Everybody wanted to focus on Treecey and her happiness in this relationship. But the pink elephant in the room, which is his egregious behavior and disrespect, nobody would talk about, except me. So that's all what the group has been containing. Well, finally, we see one person from the group and from the higher tier of the group, which is one of the individuals who is in alliance by the name of Kimmie. She breaks out and she makes a video and she finally addresses the elephant in the room that nobody else would address. And her whole premise, which I highly applaud Kimmie for, was that she could give a damn about anything concerning Treecey and this relationship, except for the one thing, and rightfully so, that should be triggering for everyone other than Kimmie, is him and this gun. He's drunk. He has his gun. He's pulling it out. There are children in the building. Children of the owners of this Airbnb. The gun could go off through the ceiling and hit one of the babies in the head while they're laying in the bed. Anything can happen. And that was Kimmie's utmost concern. And so she expressed this concern. And bigger than all of that, she just wanted to see, or wants to see, Treecey get back to San Antonio in one piece and not in pieces. Okay? We don't want Treecey to live out, the name of her following. We don't want Treecey in pieces. We want Treecey in one piece. Well, normally what happens, matter of fact, every time it happens, when you're studying group dynamics and everything, and you just sit back and watch, usually the first person who stands out and addresses the elephant in the room, they get a whole lot of backlash like they are the bad guy. In other words, they become the scapegoat. What is a scapegoat? A scapegoat in a group is the individual who the entire group, or most of the people in the group, put all of their ill feelings into. And it's almost like if it wasn't for this scapegoat or for this individual who pointed out the elephant in the room that everybody sees but nobody wanted to talk about, there wouldn't be any problems. So the scapegoat becomes the individual who, by the group standards and ideologies, is the cause and the reason for all these issues. That's why it's important to study group dynamics. It'll help you a lot on your job. It will help you a lot dealing with your family. It will help you a lot, in school, whatever. Whenever you're involved in a group, whatever type of group it is, you need to be well versed in group dynamics so you can understand what is happening, because everybody plays a role. There are several roles when it comes to group dynamics, and one of the roles is a scapegoat, and that's who I'm going to focus on at this point in time. So Treecey then goes live, and she's a bit perturbed with Kimmie. She doesn't understand why Kimmie is so concerned. She doesn't like the fact that Kimmie went live, and she's accusing Kimmie of doing this just, for clout, to get numbers. And I don't think so at all. Everybody, I'm the speaker for me. I would appreciate someone going live and saying, hey girl, I'm seeing some things. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't, but I'm concerned about your safety, as opposed to somebody else going live with a whole panel and they taking her through the ringer. You know what I'm saying? And so it seems like she's more upset with Kimmie, whose initial video was really commendable, if you ask me, or anybody else who has all their marbles. It's quite commendable. And so therefore, I'm looking at people who are in support of Treecey, and I'm not saying don't support Treecey, but the ones who have yet to stand up and say, yeah, Treecey, something ain't right with this picture, but they are continuing to encourage Treecey, those are the ones Treecey really should be leery of. But hey, what do I know? It's just amazing to sit back and watch this, and it's good to be able to at least get people to focus and see what role they are playing when there is a conflict or when there is a situation within a group. Because if you can understand what role the group may have thrusted you in, or perhaps you took upon this role yourself, unaware that you have taken upon a role, you need to be aware and have an understanding. So in actuality, Kimmie has stepped up and became the mouthpiece for a group of people within the group. She has articulated just a tenth, really, because she only focused on the gun. And then when she got really pissed off, she did go into the disrespect without being specific. But, with her just focusing on the gun, she kind of became the mouthpiece for people who were thinking and feeling the same way, and then some. She spoke what they felt and what they have been thinking, but nobody would say anything except me. But as you can see, a lot of people don't listen to me. And that's fine because I'm only speaking to the people who do come to my channel. Whether you be 35 or 3,500, you all are important to me. And you come here and listen because you know I be kicking some real stuff. So she has become the mouthpiece, the spokesperson. And it just wasn't well received. She needs to know, Kimmie, as she did nothing wrong. And she's right. And if Treecey doubles down and says, I'm happy, he's not abusing me, and nothing's wrong, well, okay. So you said what you had to say, Kimmie. If anything tragic or drastic should happen after this, you know you can lay your head down and get a good night's sleep because you did what you could. And that's all you can do. Now, how she takes it, however she wanted to take it, that's on her. If she thinks she hasn't been abused in these past 4 days, if she thinks that is love, if she thinks his behaviors and actions are those of a caring person, what else can anyone say? At one point I thought, okay, so maybe this is an act when he's online, which is still completely disrespectful and it just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm trying to make sense out of nonsense, right? So what if this is all an act and when the camera is off and they're offline, he's a complete gentleman? It could happen. It could be a possibility, right? Well, it was confirmed to me that that is not the case. Because apparently he went to take her out to dinner and got out the car and just kept on walking. Didn't wait for her, didn't want to walk with her. And she was like, wait a minute, where are you going? He's like, I'm walking. And she's like, you just gonna walk away from me like that? She said she sat back in the car and that she had to teach him because he doesn't know any better. Treecey, you are 52 years old. He is 45. You are willing to waste your time to teach a grown man something simple and basic? So therefore, it showed me that he doesn't have any respect for her off camera, which is quite obvious, you know. What is he, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? He's Dr. Jekyll when he's on camera and Mr. Hyde when he's off camera, and this great guy that any woman would die to be with? No. He's an asshole on camera and he's an asshole off camera. So, if Kimmie was aware of what role she was just thrusted in, the role of scapegoat, she would not have become so emotional and pissed off. Even with him coming on the panel, it would have just rolled off her back because she has an understanding of what's happening within this group. Understanding group dynamics really saves you a lot of emotional expense. A lot. Because most of the time, when you're familiar with group dynamics, you could call shit before it happens. And when it happens, you be like, bingo, Damn, I'm good. So, with all that being said, I shall continue to watch. Not sure what's going to happen at this point, but I will say that, there's no reason for Treecey to be upset with Kimmie. From the part that I heard on Treecey's video, I don't think she really listened to Kimmie. And maybe she needs to do that. Because there were people in her chat, trolls, who were trying to spin it into something nefarious when it was not. And she needs to listen and understand that really, Kimmie wasn't trying to do no clout shit. She was genuinely concerned. And she was right. What kind of individual would she be to sit around and encourage this bullshit and not call out the elephant in the room? As you can see, very few people are willing to stand up to the elephant in the room. Very few people are willing to call a thing a thing. And so far, Kimmie is the only one, and I'm surprised that more people who are connected with the higher tier of that group are not siding with Kimmie. They see what's going on, but let them fall out with Treecey. Oh man, they'll say some grimy shit to Treecey then, won't they? They will pull up all the bullshit play by play with video and everything. But right now, Kimmie has to be the bad guy because she's the only one to stand up and say, look, I'm going to need you to get back home safe because I don't feel comfortable with you being comfortable with that motherfucker. Only a real friend would do that. And you can't think, obviously, Treecey, in so many words, said even though they have been cordial and friendly, she never considered Kimmie as a friend. But only a real person will stand up and say, hey, take a step back and look at this situation. I'm going to need you safe. But Treecey says she's not in danger and she's completely safe. Go figure. Go figure like a nigga. And what do you do when that is the response? After you stood up and called out the elephant in the room, you take your hands off the situation. And that's that. Hey, B Money. And that's that. Let Treecey have her own experience. An experience she should not be having at the age of 52. An experience she should have had in her 20s. Dealing with a fucking monkey like this. But whether she had him or not, she sure didn't learn from him. So now at 52, she got another one in the experience that she's in right now. Let her have it. Apparently, there's some lessons she hasn't learned that she should have by the age of 52. Let her have it. And you just go to sleep well at night knowing that you did what should have been done. What more people should be standing up and saying. Not just you. And by the way, it's only the strong individuals who would be able to take the steps that Kimmie has taken. The role of the scapegoat ain't for no weak women or no weak men. Although weak people have stepped in that role, and we see what happens to them. But Kimmie's just right for that role. She gonna be good. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. So, what do the rest of us do at this point? Meaning myself and you wonderful people who come to my channel. We just gonna continue to sit back and watch and analyze and discuss and explain. Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy said, I'm just enjoying the entertainment before the train wreck. Oh, it's going to be explosive. There's going to be bombs flying everywhere. Everywhere. But I'm just sitting here almost speechless because I can't think of one female that I personally know would be in Treecey's shoes right now. I can't think of one female that I personally know that would have even given someone like Rob Barack a second look. It's amazing to me. But hey, it won't end well. Stevie Wonder can see that. But I guess, Treecey is acting like, only in this situation with Rob, she's acting like a 19-year-old. Like she has a 19-year-old's mentality in this situation. And I'm really surprised. That's really surprising to me. Hey, I'm 55. I didn't stand for bullshit like this as a teenager. I damn sure ain't gonna get to my age and put up with shit like that. So, I don't get it. I don't understand. But I guess it is for the clicks and the views and the money. I guess, people will just hold themselves out on YouTube, won't they? In more ways than one. For a click and a view. Especially if, YouTube is your only job. I guess you gotta push the envelope to bring in that income. YouTube to me seems to be almost like a trap. That's why you should utilize YouTube as a hobby and not make that your main source of income, because you place yourself in a dangerous situation when you do that. It's so easy for you to lose your income from YouTube. It could be something you did wrong and YouTube snatches your channel. It could be haters and trolls that will cause you to lose your channel. It could be, it's such a vulnerable job, if you will, to have. And I don't like being vulnerable. I definitely wouldn't want any power to be balanced on the side of trolls who can dictate and control my income, therefore affecting my lifestyle and how I live and how I pay my bills. But as you can see, let me tell you, the workforce is weak in terms of employers cannot fill positions all over the country. And you want to know why? Because a lot of people are doing Uber. Some of these people are making like $2,000 a week. They're doing Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, and social media. They have quit their jobs and are doing social media. And a lot of them are bringing in 3, 4, 5, 10 times the amount of their salary. And, that's wonderful. But it just seems too good to be true. Just too much like the devil, if you ask me. You know? And therefore, jobs are aplenty in the workforce. If you ain't working, it's because you don't want to work. And that's the truth. But I don't think it's a good idea to depend on cash apps and super chats and a Google check to support your lifestyle and your living expenses. But that's just me. What do I know? What do I know? See how the birds are quiet? When I first went live, I had the big light on in my bedroom. What time is it? It's dark, right? And they was just talking and yapping. And so I just turned off the light and they went to sleep. That was them telling me, bitch, turn the light off. It's dark. We tired. You got the light on. Turn the light off. So now they sleeping. But anyway, listen. I really appreciate each and every one of you. All 7 of you. Please hit the like button. Who have tuned in. All 8 now. I really appreciate you. You could be any place else but with me at this particular point in time. You got it. Kimmie live as hell. 5 Babies live. Jay Wilson. Everybody is live. But you 8 people are here with little old me, man with bass. And I thank you so much. You will never go unappreciated by me. I promise you. Yeah, the internet did open up opportunities and options. But I hope these people are disciplined enough to open up a Roth IRA and they are investing their money for a rainy day, like when they get old and retired, I just hope they're doing this. I hope they are taking a percentage out of their check. They did the math, how much they should take out of their monthly check of cash apps and super chats and putting it away to pay Uncle Sam. I hope they just ain't spending this money and not paying Uncle Sam because, the IRS will sit back and let you have your fun. And one day, when they come knocking on your door, you be lucky if they leave you standing there in your underwear. Because Uncle Sam is going to get his money or you're going to go to jail and still pay a shitload of fines. So I hope they are financially disciplined. I hope with this money they're making, they have hired an accountant. I hope they are being wise. Because if not, shit. Listen, the more popular you get on YouTube, seems the harder you work, or you have to work to maintain that status. Your subscribers, the views, the super chats, the cash apps, and all of that. And it just boxes you into that wheel that the little hamsters be running on. They be running real fast and spinning and going nowhere. I think a lot of YouTubers get caught up like that. And it's a very uncomfortable position to be in. I think it would be for me. And I just hope they know what they're doing. I hope they're being wise. I guess it won't be that bad if you're being wise and you got an accountant and you making sure you paying Uncle Sam and all that good stuff. I guess it could be okay. But as I start to say, I lost track. You know, especially it depends on what your content is. I don't think people, like for instance, when y'all don't see me out here in these YouTube streets, I'm usually in the model train sector. And there's no beefing going on over there. Everybody's making their money, da da da. I don't see any trolling or anything. So unless you're in a wholesome sector like that as a content creator, it could be wonderful. But when you're dealing with the beef sector, like I said earlier, it just lends itself to too many opportunities from too many angles to destroy your platform and to put a dent in your pocket in terms of how much money or income you can bring in. That's just like one aspect. The other aspect is you get crazy people after you. They start stalking you. They start making videos about you every day, telling the most egregious lies on you. You know, you don't deal with that shit. At least I don't in the workplace. Not to say there don't be any conflicts, but nothing like this YouTube shit. Come on, let's be real. You know, it's just too many fucking people out here in these YouTube streets on medication. And they're on medication for a reason. And a lot of them ain't on medication and they should be. So, if you want to be a content creator, be one in some sort of wholesome algorithm where you don't have to deal with the bullshit you deal with out here in these type of YouTube streets. So that's my advice. Yes, the taxes will be the thing that get a lot of people. I invest in. I know people that cashed out thinking they don't have to pay taxes, and in a few years they get caught up. Yep, they sure do. They sure do get caught up. But anyway, listen, I'm going to go now. And of course, I'll be back if something else is going on. Why? You know what? I think I had the heat. I had the temperature at 67 and it rained a lot today. And so I think it just got like damp and drafty in the house. So it's not really a cold. It's just like the draft is messing with my sinuses. So I turned up the heat. But I'm going to be all right other than my back. I've been going to the chiropractor and I think, well, I only went one time. And I think it did more damage because I've been feeling, you know what, maybe I just need to keep going back. You know, I've never been to the chiropractor before. I've never had a massage. And they put me on these different machines. And I guess my muscles weren't used to it. And maybe it's a thing like, you know, like how if you haven't worked out in a long time and you work out, whatever, your muscles are, you know, sore. Maybe it's something like that. I'm hoping. But, yeah. I'm going to go one more time and see what happens. Maybe it's just because it's the first time. But anyway, I'm going to go back to watching CNN. And again, thank you all. And I'll be back later if there's something else to talk about. Peace.